My peoples, Vasyl Lomachenko has officially announced that he has retired from the sport of boxing. You already know, I'm Jay Smith, and this is Box Center, your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, my peoples. Um, you know, the first thing I have to say, man, is congratulations to Vasyl Lomachenko for such an amazing career. You know, as an amateur, we know Lomachenko won multiple gold medals in the Olympics, had a record, of like 301, something along those lines. Widely recognized as the best amateur boxer of all time. Liam, family, salute. First to hit that like button. I appreciate you, my brother. First one in the building, too. Um, but yeah, man, like I was saying about Lomachenko, my brother, he, has such an amazing amateur career, regarded as one of the best amateur boxers ever. Jose Cole, what's the deal, my brother? Um, and we already know as a professional, he went to work right away and won a title early on in his career. I think it was in his second or third pro fight. Won titles in multiple divisions, unified titles, beat top level fighters. And, with Lomachenko, to be honest with you, my peoples, is kind of, for me, it's bittersweet. It's two sides to it. And I'll tell you why. Liam, Lomachenko, the great amateur boxer ever. Yeah, he's arguably the greatest amateur boxer ever. When you look at his amateur record and all of it, what he accomplished as an amateur, it's insane. It's insane. In our lifetime, we may never see someone accomplish as much as Lomachenko in the amateur rankings. We may never see it. We can see Liam. We can see Jake Paul versus Loma. I don't know. Maybe Lomachenko is gonna get a call to fight Jake Paul. Don't be surprised with the way it's been going. But to me, Lomachenko retiring is bittersweet. And I'll tell you why. It's, I'm sad by it because, Lomachenko, he's the Matrix. He's the only Matrix. His style of boxing, his technique, his footwork, the way that he gave his opponent angles, which is why he was the Matrix. And that's it. We're not gonna get to see that again. That's why I'm glad that I got to enjoy Lomachenko's career. Glad that I got to see him accomplish. Because that's it. Sometimes you don't appreciate a special fighter and everything that they do while they're active. And then when they retire, that's it. You don't realize that's it. You're not going to get this guy anymore. So I'm sad about the fact that we're not going to get Lomachenko anymore. That's it. Those fights are over. But at the same time, I'm happy for Lomachenko because he's going out in his own terms. He's not in a situation where he's going to come back and get beat up by a much younger fighter because he needs the money or anything like that. William Allen, Loma washed. I mean, he's 37 years old, and he decided to retire. I wouldn't say that he's washed, but if he decided to retire on his own terms, I respect that, and I even appreciate it. Liam, I always see Caleb Plant and Loma has the same style. They have a very similar style. They do. William Allen, leave the game before the game leaves you. That's a good phrase, my brother. Get out before it's too late. In boxing you could easily end up getting brain damage, end up getting the type of injuries that'll mess up the quality of your life after you retire from boxing. We've seen it a bunch of times with retired fighters. So, him leaving on his own terms, I respect that. Hey yo, Lomachenko's gonna retire as a reigning world champion. What better way to go out? I promise you, Every single fighter who has ever been a champion could only wish they retired as a champion. As you guys know, most people don't retire as a champion. Most fighters, eventually they lose that title. They, fight a few times in their late 30s or 40s trying to get that title back, and it just doesn't happen. For most fighters, that's why you think we give so much credit when a fighter's a two-time champion or a three-time champion? Because there's a lot of fighters who lose that title and they never gain it back. Lomachenko, you gotta respect him. He's gonna retire a reigning world champion. All of his accomplishments, the divisions that he won titles in, the people that he beat. Lomachenko, you gotta respect it. Liam, ain't nobody care if you end your career with a good record or no injuries. Just get that money up. Yeah, you gotta make that money. You gotta make that money, but usually the money is gonna come with the accomplishments. In most cases, there's gonna be the Jake Paul who became a big star on YouTube first, so he could make money without accomplishing. But if you look at the people that made the most money, if you look at Floyd Mayweather, if you look at Manny Pacquiao, if you look at Oscar De La Hoya, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, the people that's made the most millions, they accomplished a lot, my brother. That's how you get your money up. Victor J, Loma hype job. I don't know how you came up with that conclusion, brother. Liam, Loma could retire till 40 and get some money. I mean, yeah, but you see, that's the thing, my brother, that the part about get more money, that's, I would say, more of an American culture. And the reason I say an American culture is because, fighters in other countries, they're not trying to have a collection of gold chains, a collection of cars, and live this crazy lifestyle. These people, with $5 million, they live their whole life like millionaires. Why? Because they got themselves a nice home, one car, they live a normal life, they go out vacation once in a while, they live forever with that money. They don't go broke because they don't live that crazy, consumption lifestyle where it's about material and having the best car and the most chains, and they don't live that lifestyle, my brother. Let me give you an example. Look at what's this guy named? Maidana. Look at Marcos Maidana. He fought Floyd Mayweather. It was a very good competitive fight. Some people said that he won the first fight. Floyd gave him the rematch. He gave him the bag. And look, Maidana never, that's it, he retired from boxing. With the money that Floyd gave him, this guy has lived out the rest of his life. And he's never going to be broke again. That's it. Maidana, he bought mad land in Mexico. He owns mad properties. That's it. He's good for the rest of his life. So, a guy like Lomachenko, with the type of money that he made in boxing and the lifestyle that he lives, that's it. That guy's never going to know what it is to be broke again. Victor J, Loma Soki, Tank, and Shakur said, nah, I'm good on that. Liam, you think Loma still got it? If he didn't drop his gloves and retire, I believe so, of course. When you look at Lomachenko, just take into consideration the fact that, look at his losses, first of all. Teofimo Lopez, that was a split decision loss that was very close. And we know he had a very slow start, and then he picked it up, and then he had Teofimo surviving towards the end. Teofimo had to pick up the pace in the championship rounds to pull off the victory. And then he lost to Devin Haney, which a lot of people felt like he beat Devin Haney. I watched the fight live, and I thought he beat Devin. Then when I watched the replay, I was like, Devin was landing some big counter shots on him too. So then I kind of changed my mind. But still, at the highest level, you saw Loma with the best opponents that he ever faced, still performing really good. So I think at 37 years old, if he wanted to, he could come back and still perform versus the best fighters out there. However, as you get older, it's harder for you to, do a whole training camp, do the weight cut, do everything that you have to do. If you have the money and you don't need to fight, that's the right thing to do. Call it quits. It's the right time to go. Victor J, if they were all Camboso, I guarantee Loma goes for undisputed. Nah, I don't know. I'm not gonna read his mind about what he would do, my brother. I can see that you don't like Lomachenko. You never really liked him, so everything you're gonna say about him is gonna be negative. Even your assumptions about Lomachenko are gonna be negative. So there's not really a lot to say. I already know everything that you will say about Lomachenko. Noble Young, yo, boss. What's the deal, Noble Young? Appreciate you dropping in, my brother. On Lace, salute, my G. You already know what it is, my brother. Now, interesting development. I don't know if y'all saw Edwin De Los Santos and Keyshawn Davis, but damn, they almost went at it right there. De Los Santos tried to grab Keyshawn's belt. Keyshawn pulled it off and shoved him, pushed him. And they separated them. But this is good. It builds a little bit of friction between them right before the fight. So I thought that was interesting. And it looked like Keyshawn Davis was trying to press Abdullah Mason too. Ooh, they was both being interviewed. Now, here's the interesting thing, my peoples. And let me show you the mentality, because there's a difference when you're a fan of the sport and when you're simply a hater. When you just always want to be a hater. You're always looking for negative things to say. Watch this, my peoples. Keyshawn Davis is going to fight Edwin De Los Santos. Abdullah Mason is going to fight Nakatila, African brother. So both of those opponents face Shakur Stevenson, Nakatila, and De Los Santos, right? So watch this. If Keyshawn Davis or Abdullah Mason was to watch their opponent on Saturday, you're going to see the Shakur haters. Like, look, Shakur ain't all that because Keyshawn watched De Los Santos and Abdullah Mason watched Nakatila, and Shakur couldn't watch those opponents, right? That's what people will say, I promise you. But if Nakatila gave Abdullah Mason his toughest test ever, and Abdullah Mason wins in a tough fight, and then De Los Santos give Keyshawn a tough fight, and Keyshawn beat him in a competitive showdown, watch how none of them people's gonna be like, yo, you see how good Shakur is? He beat them guys easily, and they gave Keyshawn and Abdullah a dog fight. They gave them the toughest fights that they ever had, and Shakur beat them easily. I bet you they're not gonna say that. I bet you nobody's gonna notice that. So with Keyshawn Davis, the people that's always hating on Shakur, they're gonna see how good De Los Santos is. And with Abdullah Mason, they're gonna see how good Nakatila is. So are they gonna say those guys were bums when they faced Shakur, and now they're better when they're facing other fighters? So when you see that, Shakur beats an opponent who's not famous like that, who's not a star like that, and people discredit that opponent to hate on Shakur, but now what happens when those opponents fight real good this Saturday? Are you going to give credit to Shakur Stevenson and say, wow, look, Shakur beat De Los Santos easily, and Keyshawn Davis had a tough fight versus De Los Santos? That's how good he is. De Los Santos can fight. And oh yeah, Shakur put the beats on Nakatila, beat him easy, and Nakatila gave Abdullah fits. That's how good Shakur is, made it look easy. Are people gonna give that credit to Shakur if both of his previous opponents perform real good on Saturday? I'm pretty sure it's not gonna happen. Maker Jay Smith, what's good, King? My brother, appreciate you dropping in. You already know what it is, man. We talking boxing. Vasyl Lomachenko retired, and I was saying earlier, man, to me it's bittersweet I'm kind of sad that we won't get to see the Matrix again. I love watching Lomachenko, his footwork, his punch placement, combinations, and just his overall technical skills are just beautiful to watch. And we won't get to see him again. So I'm sad about that. But I'm also happy about the fact that Lomachenko gets to go out on his own terms. He gets to decide when it's time to do it. So I respect that. And he gets to go out a champion as well. Eduardo Flores de los Santos is a good fighter, but styles make fights. It was like Marquez versus Mayweather when I think about De Los Santos versus Keyshawn. Well, I wouldn't compare it to that. You know why? Because if you recall, Marquez moved up 2 divisions to fight Floyd. And to make it even crazier, a lot of people don't remember this or don't even know this, Floyd didn't make weight for that fight. Just like he told Ryan Garcia not to make weight for Devin Haney, he had Marquez move up 2 divisions to fight him and he didn't make weight. So because of that, I think there was too much of a size difference with Marquez and Floyd. Floyd was big in front of Marquez. Keyshawn is not going to be huge in front of De Los Santos. Maker, you ever seen Keyshawn calling out Shakur? I wonder if he's facing Shakur opponents to gauge how he'll do. Nah. In fact, Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis have both been very public about the fact that they will not fight each other. They don't plan to fight each other. And, their mind is set that they will never fight each other. So I don't think neither one of them has or will call each other out. JJ's in the house. Hello, Jay Smith. I'm here. Let's go, everyone. Hit the like button. Hell yeah, my brother. What's the deal, JJ's in the house? I appreciate you dropping in, man. What do you think about Lomachenko calling it a career? Liam, you think Floyd could make more money as a promoter or manager? Because he studied the whole business. Well, he's never going to make more money as a promoter than he made as a fighter. Because you got to remember, Floyd Mayweather has made hundreds of millions of dollars in a fight. He made, 300 versus Pacquiao? 400 or whatever it was, I don't remember. So I don't think that he'll ever make more money, as a promoter or as a manager. That's number one. And number two, I don't really think that Floyd could really be a manager, because as a manager, you have to be kind of hands-on with your fighters, right? And Floyd Mayweather, he's not about that, my brother. Floyd Mayweather, he's not really a promoter either. If you think about it, he has the money team. He has his promotional company. But he's not really, a promoter. Look, do you see Floyd Mayweather promoting fights? Do you really see him, moving like Eddie Hearn, Oscar De La Hoya, and the other promoters? You don't. So I think that Floyd, he has so many different things, investing in property, endorsements with drinks, with vapes, with other stuff, selling merchandise. I think he has so many things going on that it's hard for him to effectively manage a fighter's career or promote a fighter's career. He's out there doing his own thing. Ozzy, Loma versus Tank at 130 never happened. That's one of the biggest fights back then. We missed it, man. We missed it. That was a huge fight. And we missed it. Lomachenko tried to make it happen. Bob Arum wanted to make it happen. Floyd didn't want to do it. They didn't want to pull the trigger on that fight. We never saw it. There's some fights, but you got to respect Lomachenko. He fought Devin Haney and he fought Teofimo Lopez. You got to give it to him. For 2 of the big dogs. Maker, Loma is one of them ones gonna miss seeing his style and humility as a champ. We're gonna miss it. Those of us who got to witness Lomachenko, we can say, damn, I enjoy watching him operate. Ozzy, and Loma was untouchable. Man, that's when you enter the matrix. Loma would have you enter the matrix where you couldn't just, the angles, the footwork. Loma would have you spinning in circles and shit. Maker, Floyd got that gentleman club too. Man, I don't know. Merrick, what? JJ's in the house. Lomas is a good kid and smart with his money. When he sold his home, it was worth about 3 of his average fight purses, plus his investments. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of fighters who they don't live a lifestyle of blowing all their money and buying the newest cars and buying the newest things and always clubbing and partying. Nah, there's fighters like Lomachenko who live a calm, relaxed lifestyle. And the money that he has, he'll never spend it. He'll never know what it is to be broke again. Because, he'll have some investments, money coming in. He's not blowing his money on everything he sees. So that's it. He's set for the rest of his life. Love more Hinduism. He was a very special fighter. That's a fact. Lomachenko is a first ballot Hall of Famer, my people. He's headed straight to the Hall of Fame. Maker, didn't Loma fight in the war for his country too? Yeah. I mean, I don't think he saw any actual combat, but I know that he did enlist in his country's military. I know that he did that. So again, that you can't do a whole lot more than respect Lomachenko. I know somebody came in the live earlier. Oh, Lomachenko washed up and he's a hype job. Every great athlete is gonna have haters. That's just the way it is. But if you don't respect Lomachenko, I don't even know what to tell you, man. This guy was there, fighting everybody, winning titles, had a successful amateur career, one of the best ever, or if not the best ever amateur boxer. And now as a professional, we got to see what he accomplished. You got to give it to him. Salute to the Matrix, my peoples. Bam. So again, this weekend, we are going to have Edwin De Los Santos fighting Keyshawn Davis, and Nakatila fighting Abdullah Mason. 2 of Shakur's opponents will be on Saturday. Swill, I'm from Liam. What's up, Swill? Appreciate you dropping in, my brother. We talking boxing. The whole situation now, we got Keyshawn Davis fighting this Saturday, Edwin De Los Santos, and Abdullah Mason with Nakatila. Let's see how those fights are going to play out. And if, which is what we expect, Keyshawn and Abdullah both win, is Abdullah Mason going to climb the ring and call out Keyshawn Davis? Is that going to happen? Because if it is, I'm telling you guys right now, man, that's a fight that I want to see. Keyshawn Davis versus Abdullah Mason. It's a fight that I want to see, my people. So there's the magic question. Assuming Abdullah Mason wins his fight and then Keyshawn Davis beats De Los Santos, is Abdullah Mason going to climb the ring and call out the businessman? Is there a possibility that we're going to get Keyshawn Davis versus Abdullah Mason later this year? The fighters, they can't look past their opponent. I'm sure that Keyshawn Davis is focused on De Los Santos. Abdullah Mason is focused on Nakatila. But we can look past their opponents. And I want to know if they're going to fight each other next. And do you guys want to see that fight? Do you guys want to see Keyshawn Davis and Edwin De Los Santos? Y'all tell me, my peoples. Because I'm telling you right now, man, that's a fight that I really want to see. Swill, do you think Mike Tyson could beat Vasyl? Come on, my brother. Mike Tyson is a heavyweight, and he's almost 60 years old. Come on now, brother. Maker, man, why Keyshawn press Mason like that? Because that's what Keyshawn Davis is about, my brother. Keyshawn Davis is that fighter who, if y'all argue on social media, or if there's any back and forth going on, when he see you in person, he's going to holler at you. He's going to holler at you. Ozzy, you think Keyshawn can stop De Los Santos? I mean, he has the power to stop him, my brother. Now, is he going to stop him? I'm not going to tell you that he is. Simply because, look, De Los Santos is a good fighter, but De Los Santos get hit. De Los Santos is a guy that get hit. So, there's a possibility that he could get stopped. That's not, Keyshawn Davis stopping Edwin De Los Santos is not something that's outside of the realm of possibility. It can happen. I'm telling you that right now, my brother. It can, without a doubt, happen. Is it gonna happen? We're gonna see. I already said, man, and let me even record that. God damn, your motorcycle's crazy right now. I already said it, my peoples. I got Keyshawn Davis winning this fight. I know that De Los Santos is a very good fighter. He got good speed, footwork, power. But Keyshawn Davis, the businessman, is levels above. And you're going to see it on Saturday. Gonna see it. But, like I said, since I got Keyshawn Davis winning the fight, and I got Abdullah Mason also beating Nakatila, I'm wondering, is Abdullah Mason going to climb the ring and officially call out the businessman after Keyshawn wins? I would love to see it. I don't know if it's going to happen, but if it does, I'm already going to be anticipating Keyshawn Davis versus Abdullah Mason for later this year. You guys tell me, would you guys like to see Keyshawn and Abdullah mix it up this year? Y'all tell me, my peoples. Love more Hinduism. What he did to Rigondeaux was unforgettable. Yo, Lomachenko performance versus Rigondeaux was incredible. It was incredible. He turned into the Matrix that night. Ozzy, Rigo is one of the best Cuban fighters I ever seen. He's one of the best Cuban fighters of all time. I think Rigondeaux's weakness, his only weakness is that he was so short. He was always at a height and reach disadvantage. But his technical skills, his footwork unmatched. JJ said Mason should wait for a little bit still. But I do want to see that fight one day. I was saying that before, that I felt like Abdullah Mason should wait a little bit more. But if he feels like he's ready, his team feels like he's ready, I respect that. Go for it. Ozzy, just weight class for a reason. And he's old. Yeah, he's older now. Maker. De Los Santos from out there, ain't he? Yes, De Los Santos is Dominican. Liam, I'm back, bro. Just send the stream to some friends to like and subscribe. I appreciate it, my brother. Somebody actually just dropped in and told me they came through Liam. So I appreciate it, my brother. Hell yeah. But again, personally, I feel like it would have been okay. Abdullah Mason just turned 21 years old. I think a few weeks ago maybe. Just turned 21. Young boy. So I would have been okay with him waiting a little bit more for a title shot. But they feel like they're ready. So that's it. I guess it might be time this year. Ozzy, you're not going to back your Dominican brother? So my guy, Edwin De Los Santos, my Dominican brother, countryman, I got love for him. And I like his style of boxing and everything. But as an analyst, I'm responsible for analyzing the information, the data, the performances, and rendering an opinion. I'm not biased at all. I'm not going to tell you that somebody's going to win because they're from the same country as me. I'm going to tell you that somebody's going to win because that's who I see winning, my brother. So I never say, I could tell you I would like him to win and I would like him to look good. One thing is what I would like, and one thing is what I foresee happening. I call it how I see it, my brother. So I got love for Edwin De Los Santos. I want to see him always do good. I do not see him winning this fight. Just business. Ain't no good boxers. It's gonna be hard to watch from now on. No more skills like the old days. Good retirement for Lomachenko. No, I would say there's some good boxers out there, my brother. I would say there's some, Lomachenko is a special fighter. There's not a lot of, you're not going to see a lot of Lomachenkos out there. But if you look at Gary Antoine Russell, if you look at Abdullah Mason, if you look at Keyshawn Davis, if you look at, Shakur's cousin, Zaquan Moses, Shakur Stevenson, there's some good fighters out there. Ozzy, that's facts, bro. Unbiased. Yeah, my brother. I don't say somebody's gonna win because what country they from, what color their skin, none of that stuff. I don't care. I'm looking at the technical skills as what's going on inside the ring. Based on that alone, I'm gonna render my opinion. Love more Hinduism. That's why we fuck with Box Center. Salute, my brother. Just business. I'm Canelo all the way. I got you, my brother. And look, I've said this before. Even though I got Terence Crawford beating Canelo Alvarez, I acknowledge Canelo as one of this era's best fighters and headed to being an all-time great. Canelo's a great fighter, a pound-for-pound fighter, an undisputed fighter. How much has Canelo accomplished? How many champions has he beaten? So there's nothing wrong with thinking that Canelo's going to beat Crawford or rooting for him. There's nothing wrong with that. And, by the way, Canelo is going to be the favorite. Going to be the favorite to win that fight. Maker J. Smith, what would be your walkout song if you were fighting on Saturday? What would be my walkout song if I was fighting on Saturday? Started from the bottom, now we here. Ozzy, Usyk is a heavyweight. Lomachenko right now. And Terence Crawford is a special fighter that people love to ignore. Yo, that's a very good comparison. And the funny thing is that Usyk and Lomachenko, they're from the same country, and they even were in the Olympic team together. They fought in the amateurs together, in the same team and everything. And their styles are very similar. And, of course, Terence Buck Crawford, one of the greatest fighters of this era as well. I think the thing about Crawford is that he has so many haters, and then his haters started hating him even more after he pummeled Errol Spence. Just business. What I've been missing out. You just said that. Okay, chat, me and my guy gotta talk. JJ's in there. Sorry, I'm not writing in the chat right now, but I'm listening because I'm talking to my boss right now. Do your thing, my brother. Do your thing. William Allen, Canelo gonna give Crawford the Errol Spence treatment. That's wishful thinking, man. You're gonna be real disappointed. Like I told everybody, when the fight happens and Terence Crawford whooped that ass, possibly make Canelo look bad in some of the rounds, I hope that y'all don't have a new excuse to come up with. Y'all gonna be like, oh, Canelo just didn't look the same, and maybe Canelo just didn't feel good, or I don't know what y'all gonna come up with, bro. Maker. JJ's in there. Who your boss got? Keyshawn or De Los Santos? I hope he got Keyshawn Davis, because that's who's going to win. Hey, yo, you know what's funny? There's this dude who he's Dominican, right? And he lives here in the Dominican Republic. And the guy tells me that I don't know shit about boxing because Keyshawn Davis is De Los Santos is faster than Keyshawn Davis. De Los Santos is stronger than Keyshawn Davis. De Los Santos got more skills than Keyshawn Davis. And De Los Santos is probably going to stop Keyshawn Davis by the 5th round. I'm like, bro, don't you think you're being a little bit of an extremist? Nah, because you don't know what you're talking about. Like, I saved the guy's entire paragraph. So when Keyshawn whooped that ass, I'm going to do a video reading his message, talking about all the shit that supposedly De Los Santos is going to do to Keyshawn Davis. I'm going to read that shit on video for y'all. Like, this dude is the definition of bias. Because he's Dominican, he's rooting for the Dominican fighter, so in his whole head, he already decided that De Los Santos is way better than Keyshawn Davis. That's what bias is about. John Parham, salute my brother. Ozzy, Canelo gonna get what Errol Spence was meant to do. Yeah, he gonna get those. He gonna get those. Just business. Crawford, come on now. You really think Terrence can handle my man's Cap Canelo, a combo power puncher? I'm black, and I know he don't stand a chance. Being honest, Terrence got a good switch up. Just business. I would almost bet anything. And you could lie right now because people always lie about that. But I would almost bet everything that you had Errol Spence beating Terrence Crawford. I would bet almost everything that you had Errol Spence beating Terrence Crawford. You saw what happened. You saw what Crawford did to Errol. You should have learned back then what Crawford be doing. John Parham, I don't think Keys will beat his ass, but definitely got him winning. Yeah, I think it's going to be a competitive fight. De Los Santos, he's a guy who can fight. He's a guy who can fight. Maker, I subscribe to this channel because you know what you're talking about. Salute. I appreciate you, Maker. Bam. Ozzy, Terrence going to beat Canelo. I can't see Canelo beating him, actually. Yo, like I said, man, I see Terrence Crawford winning in a competitive fight. A good fight. Liam, John, salute, brother. God bless you, dog. I just don't see it. I just don't see Canelo outboxing Crawford. That's why I said it before. Subliminally, it's almost like y'all know the people that say Canelo's gonna win. It's almost like you know Crawford is the better boxer because you never bring up boxing skills. You never bring up, oh, Canelo's gonna outbox him. He's gonna win by unanimous decision. You just bring up, oh, Canelo's bigger, Canelo's stronger, Canelo hits harder, Canelo got the power. But power doesn't decide the outcome of every fight. We all know that. The power puncher doesn't win every fight. The guy that hits the hardest doesn't win every fight. You should all know that. But if you don't know that, you're going to find out. Ozzy, the more you look at style, Crawford really going to do a number on Canelo. Put the beats on him. Liam, Canelo does not care about winning. He already got 150 mil payday guaranteed outside of the bonus. Now, I wouldn't say that, my brother. He cares about winning. You know, when you're a pound-for-pound fighter, he's going to be an undisputed champion for that fight. I'm pretty sure he cares about winning. He don't want to lose that fight. You know, obviously, they want to get that money. But, you know, they both want to win badly, badly. Badly, my brother. I promise you. Just business. Nah, Errol was ducking him for years. We know boxers call out who they know they can beat. Errol had a good push. He wasn't a dog, though. You know you got a dog watch the fight with you. Come on, bro. How you going to say Errol Spence wasn't a dog, bro? How you... Bro, Errol Spence is a 3-belt unified champion who never won a vacant title in his career. Errol Spence didn't get an email title or anything like that. He beat 3 world champions for his 3 belts. Think about that. 3 champions for 3 belts. Face adversity. How you going to say Errol not a dog, my brother? Don't got that dog in him. When you say Errol didn't have that dog in him, you know what that means? You just can't give credit to Terrence Crawford. You're a Terrence Crawford hater. Instead of saying, yo, Crawford was spectacular that night, you prefer to discredit Errol and be like, nah, yo, he just ain't that dog. He just, what? Errol Spence was the big fish at the welterweight division, bro. How you going to say he didn't got that dog? That's crazy work. Hash Bass, I hope Keyshawn is locked in because he tried to punk Abdullah today and saying if they don't win, they should fight next. Now, I'm pretty sure he's locked in. I'm pretty sure. You know, Keyshawn Davis is a guy who, you know, just became a world champion, and his focus right now is laser sharp. Laser sharp. I know he pressed Abdullah simply because, you know, whatever's going on, Abdullah might be mandated to fight him. So he already putting that pressure on him. But De Los Santos is the main focus. I guarantee you that, my brother. Liam, I don't think Crawford is in his prime. Ozzy, remember the respect Floyd was giving Errol just from sparring? Yeah, yo, of course. Errol Spence, you could tell Errol Spence put hands on Floyd when they sparred. Put hands on him. Jay Jones, Errol was a dog. He ran into a bad matchup. Of course. Of course, Jay Jones. I can't even believe that somebody would say Errol Spence is not a dog. Like, bro. And you see what happens in boxing? How quick people are to discredit a fighter as soon as they take a loss. Nah, he just ain't a dog. What are we talking about? Do we not watch Errol Spence? What he was doing to opponents? Come on now. Errol Spence is without a doubt a dog. And if you don't believe it, go watch his fight versus Sean Porter. Where Sean Porter was there trying to press or putting hands on him. And late in the fight, he dropped him. Come on, yo. Nobody could say Errol Spence had no dog in him. That's nasty work. That's nasty work. John Parham. Just business. Canelo my favorite fighter. And I got him by decision. 6 rounds is crazy. Talk about, like, how do you see a fighter who never been knocked out in his whole career and you predict he gonna get knocked out in 6? A guy that never been knocked out is gonna get knocked out in 6? My goodness, B. John Parham. I love how Abdullah stood ground at Key today. Yeah, he gotta do it. He gotta do it. The mental games between them already started. They're going to be fighting somebody else. But Keyshawn Davis and Abdullah Mason already kicked off the mental games between each other. You're going to see the mental gymnastics, throwing jabs at each other. Let's see if Abdullah Mason is going to climb the ring after Keyshawn Davis win and formally call him out. I would love to see that. Hash Bass. After the beating Spence took from Crawford, he didn't quit. That showed dog. The referee had to stop it. Errol Spence would have took that beating for 12 rounds if the referee wouldn't have stopped it. It's the referee that had to stop it. Errol Spence is a dog. There's no way around that. Ozzy, Errol literally cleared out the entire 147 division. That's what I'm talking about, my guy. All of his titles were won from a champion. No email title, no vacant strap that he grabbed versus an easy opponent. Beat Kell Brook. Beat Ugas. And beat Sean Porter. 3 reigning champions. Legitimate champions. Come on now, you gotta respect that. Gotta respect that. John Parham. Come on. Let's get bro 20. We've been sleeping. Yeah, man. Damn, yo. I don't know what it is. People don't want to hit that like button with Jay Smith, brother. Liam, Crawford versus Canelo could be the best card ever if they had Ryan versus Haney rematch and Tank versus Shakur. Oh, my God. That would be crazy. But you have a card like that, you'll have to charge like $300 for the pay-per-view. I would have loved to see, Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis fight on that same card. I would love that. But we already know, man, Tank is not trying to fight Shakur. Tank is going to fight Lamont Roach. And then apparently he's fighting Jake Paul at the end of the year. That's just the way it's going down. John Parham, Liam, that will break the internet for sure. John Parham, Keys better get Mason now because in 2 years it will be different. Yo. But I will tell you what. Keyshawn Davis, I'm wondering how much more time he's going to spend at the 135 division. Because you can see his frame. He's getting bigger. So I don't think he's going to stick around at 135 for too much longer, to be honest with y'all. No, I see for Keyshawn Davis, maybe two, maybe 3 more fights at 135 before he gets out of there. Just business. That's a warm cookie and nice. But all I'm saying, Terrence showed him its levels to the hands. He beat him, his head up, then switch up his style later in the fight. Levels, all I'm saying. I mean, there is levels. That's a fact. But come on, you can't say that Errol Spence don't got no dog in him, my guy. That guy's the definition of Liam. It's over for Tank, but he had a good no career, no hate, but end it as a duck. I mean, look, I already told y'all, if Tank Davis decides to retire, he's not gonna get into the Hall of Fame. He don't have a Hall of Fame resume. Hash Bass, Jay Smith, Tank is not fighting Jake Paul. Bro, you're on denial about it, my brother. And you know why I'm telling you that you're on denial? Because I already see multiple people talk about it. That he's going to fight Jake Paul. There's multiple sources already addressing that. So, either you hiding somewhere, or when every time you see it, you close your eyes and close your ears, and you're hoping it doesn't happen because that's your guy. He's going to fight a YouTuber, but that's what's going to happen. While Shakur, Devin, Teofimo, while these guys are reaching for greatness, you're going to be fighting Jake Paul in a circus show. Liam, he can clap Jake Paul, I believe. Yeah. He's going to beat Jake Paul. He's going to beat him up. Shaggy, happy Thursday, my G. What's going on? My brother, appreciate you dropping in. Nah, man, we talking about the whole situation. Right now, we talking about Tank Davis and the possibility that he's going to be fighting Jake Paul at the end of the year. But we're also talking about Abdullah Mason, Keyshawn Davis. They're both fighting on Saturday. Are they going to fight each other afterwards? Is Abdullah Mason going to call out Keyshawn Davis after his fight? I'm looking forward to it. I want to see how that's going to play out. And I was saying earlier, my people, remember I told you this. Keyshawn Davis and Abdullah Mason are both going to face Shakur Stevenson previous opponents in Nakatila and De Los Santos. If you're a Shakur Stevenson hater and Keyshawn smoked De Los Santos and Abdullah smoked Nakatila, you're going to say that, oh, Shakur couldn't beat these guys up like that. He a hype job. He's overrated because, look, Keyshawn and Abdullah beat his opponents up and he didn't do it. But what happens if Nakatila gave Abdullah Mason his toughest fight of his career and Abdullah Mason edges out a win, but a tough win? Are you going to give credit to Shakur for making it look easy against Nakatila? If Keyshawn Davis faces adversity versus De Los Santos, loses round, struggles, finds a way to push through and win the fight, are you guys going to give credit to Shakur for the way he beat De Los Santos with one hand? So, Shakur beat fighters that y'all think it was easy to beat them, or that y'all think they not all that, but then when they fight somebody else, they perform and perform good. Are you going to give credit to Shakur? Be like, damn, he beat those two guys. Come on now. John Parham, Tank better not retire without fighting Shakur or he loses my respect. I mean, look, honestly, that's a fight that I've been calling for. And at this point right now, I lost faith in that fight happening. I'm at a point where I'm like, you know what? Hope for the best, expect the worst. So I hope it happens, but I'm expecting it not to. I already see the way, if you think about it, the way that Tank Davis has been moving his whole career, is he going to take those type of fights at the end of his career when he's already talking about retirement, talking about leaving, talking about fighting Jake Paul for a bag? I don't know. That's it. I think it's over. I think the Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson fight is not going to happen. D. Willer, what's up, OG? What's up, D. Willer? You know, my brother, we talking about Lomachenko and, him retiring. They're going to miss out on the Matrix. And the whole situation with Tank Davis. God damn. Shit. The whole situation with Tank Davis, is he going to retire without fighting any of the big dogs. It looks like he may actually retire without facing Teofimo, without facing Devin Haney, without facing Shakur Stevenson. And that's going to be, very disappointing for the fans because we wanted to see those fights. We wanted to see it. And the only reason why they don't happen is because Tank Davis don't want to fight those guys. All of those guys want to fight him, but he don't want to fight them. Just business, my bad. Saw the pick. Respect, my bad. Part ones. I say Tank over with the fucked his rematch. Tank over with he fucked his rematch. What do you mean by that? Hash Bass. We know styles make fight. That's a fact. Liam, Hispanics be loud as hell. In Random Thursday. Always chilling, man. Yo, it's people driving through here with speakers blasting that. You think it's a party going on out here. Hash Bass is going to take a special fighter that can push Shakur in a position that he got to fight. I mean, I think it's going to take a fighter like Tank Davis. Maybe a fighter like Gary Antoine Russell. A fighter like Pitbull Cruz. But Pitbull Cruz turned down Shakur. It's going to take somebody who's a pressure fighter, who throws a lot of punches, who's aggressive, who has power. It's going to take somebody like that to make Shakur have to pull out all the tools. But, my peoples, I think that Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez or Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney, that's also a great fight. We saw that negotiations between Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez fell through, which I'm disappointed about that, man, because I really want to see Teo and Devin mix it up. So, and by the way, my peoples, Teo duck. There's no getting around it. I don't want to hear it from anybody. Teo duck. So look how funny things is. But, here's what we got to consider, my people. And I got a video that I'm going to post because we got to talk about this. Jerome Boots Ennis then chose not to fight Teofimo, right? And we're like, yo, he ducked Teofimo. He ducked because he declined the offer. But now, Teofimo pulled out of the fight with Devin. And we're like, well, Teofimo ducked. But here's the common denominator. Boots said, so I got to sell my soul to fight Teofimo, and he don't got to sell his soul to fight Devin. So the common denominator here is His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. Y'all remember Teofimo saying that His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh like wants slaves or something like that. And then look what Boots said. So are fighters, are they really ducking the fighters, or are they ducking Turkey? Then we gotta really consider that. I think we gotta consider that, my people. John Parham, I used to want Ryan and Shakur until Ryan's last performance. Ryan Garcia and Shakur Stevenson is also a fight that I wanted to see, but look, unfortunately, all of the top level fighters have chose not to fight Shakur. And even when they've spoken about it, they've expressed non-interest in fighting him. They've sold that narrative. Look at Rollies. Rollies sold the narrative. Oh, nah, man, he's so boring. I don't want to fight him because he's so boring. But at the end of the day, do we think Rollies can beat Shakur? Does Rollies think he could beat Shakur? We don't know the answer to that question. But all I'm saying is that Rollies already found an excuse to not fight Shakur. Ryan did it too. Teofimo also did it. Tank did it. So all of the fighters that we would like to see fight Shakur have all expressed an excuse as to why they don't want to fight him. Hash Bass. Ryan said he was hurt. Yeah, he did a surgery. He had hand surgery. But if you watch the fight, he was doing good and winning until he got hurt. Once he got dropped, that's when everything went downhill from there. Before he got dropped, he was winning the fight. He was outlanding Rollies and doing good. So, but that's the way the cookie crumbles, my peoples. Anyways, I'm about to get the hell out of here. I want to give a shout out to everybody who came through. My brother Hash Bass, John Parham, Liam. Who else came through? Shaggy, Just Business, Ozzy, and everyone else, man. Salute to everybody who came through. Talk boxing. Y'all know what it is. Doing what we do. I'm about to upload another video in a few minutes, so y'all can check that out. And if y'all haven't seen, I already uploaded a short talking about Lomachenko's retirement. Like I said, my peoples, in Box Center, I drop videos consistently every single day. Every day. So check out what I dropped today. Later on, I'm about to drop a couple more videos. Stay tuned for that. Y'all already know, my peoples. I'm Jay Smith. This is Box Center. This is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. Yo, I'm going to see y'all tomorrow, my peoples. Happy Thursday. Let's get the hell out of here. Bam.